Today I want to talk to you a little bit about a game-changing corporate policy that Microsoft has implemented, how REDD Plus fits in, our partnership with a carbon-neutral company, Zubair is here, to invest in carbon reduction projects, carbon offset projects, to preserve forests, to preserve wildlife, and to generate jobs and education, and how all of that benefits Microsoft, not only from the environmental perspective, but also for citizenship commitments and as well marketing. Just this July, we implemented a carbon neutral policy, and in order to achieve the reductions that we feel are that Microsoft is responsible for, the ICT, information and communications technology sector emits 2% of global environmental emissions. And so as part of that, what we realized is we are part of the problem, especially when we look at our customers and all the proliferation of devices that are emerging and the energy they require. And so we need to also be part of the solution. So the first step was really to take a look at our own house, get our own house in order, clean up our own operations. And in order to do that, our reduction in carbon emissions had to go to zero and hopefully be net negative when we complete the process. And so there's 3 pillars to this strategy. First, of course, is to reduce our own emissions by reducing load and getting more efficient, reducing waste, traveling less. And then the second as well is to green our operations. And that's not only by purchasing and consuming renewable energy, but also investing in carbon offset projects. And then the last pillar around accountability is where I want to focus the brief next few minutes, because this is where Microsoft has, we've developed basically put a price on carbon. So we have an internal carbon fee that the way it's processed is that each of our 14 business divisions across 110 different countries is now charged an additional fee that's associated with the carbon emissions from energy consumption and business air travel. And so that's cascaded out to all the different business divisions, and the accountability has been amazing. The important element of this is to start to speak the language of the business. I was not making progress by speaking environmental scientific terms such as metric tons of carbon in the business organizational environment. Really organizational, because it's all types of organizations, not certainly just the corporate structure, but also very relevant to universities, education, and as well as government. And so as part of that, it was very important to start speaking in terms of dollars. Just in a way, from the other side, carbon offset projects also speak the terms of dollars associated with the carbon offset of metric ton. It was very important for me, from the other side of things, to be starting to talk about carbon in terms of dollars. And the shift in engagement and brainstorming across the company has been tremendous. There are, on a monthly basis now, we meet with the CFOs of each of the different business divisions to talk about ways that we can reduce our emissions, get more efficient, and how we invest these dollars. This gives you a quick visual of how it's cascaded, and basically putting the price on carbon, associating that and dropping that down to each of the business divisions. And then those funds are collected into a bucket, and that's where we then distribute those funds to invest in carbon offset projects, such as the Casagao project. And the impact on the business has been significant. The folks are engaged now. We've implemented this carbon fee as of July in 2012, and the first stages are really setting up the infrastructure of this model, the plumbing, to make sure that as we flow through the price of carbon, that flows well, that there's no hiccups for the business, and that we engage all of the folks of the business and their education now. Now they can speak in terms of dollars when they think about carbon reduction. And so now the process is really evolving our carbon price over time so that we can benefit globally, and especially developing countries, that we can, as a corporation in a developed country, we can invest in emerging countries, developing countries, to help them develop in a low-carbon economy, which is really the foundation for the Kyoto Protocol. So we are taking action in our own way to demonstrate environmental responsibility, and our ask really is to have other organizations do the same thing. It's a very simple, repeatable model, and that's where we're hoping to be able to have other organizations take up this type of a model, putting a price on carbon, collecting the funds, drive the accountability out to the different parts of the organization, and then be able to use these funds to support projects such as Casagao. Because the world needs our help. We certainly, Microsoft can't do it alone, and we need to be able to distribute these funds out to the organizations and the groups that are making an impact in this way. So as we move forward with this carbon fee policy, we're looking at increasing the carbon prices I mentioned over time, taking the Governance Council and brainstorming new innovative ways to distribute, to collect the funds, to have more of an impact. So hopefully that's useful for you for how we can make a difference, certainly from a corporate perspective, and the steps that Microsoft has taken in this area. There's also a white paper that talks a little bit more in detail about this that you can find. You can go to microsoft.com/environment, and it will be there. Also my email alias if you have some additional questions.